coming back to the project here. I did a little work that wasn't filmed, but that's alright. It was more or less just some tedious stuff. The plug wires, I put the distributor back in. I did end up finding that the vacuum advance, the diaphragm was cracked and it didn't work at all. So I put a new vacuum advance in the distributor. And that's really about it. That's all I've done that has been recorded, which really that's just tedious stuff that nobody wants to see me put spark plug wires and spark plugs and put a distributor back in. I guess I could have showed you guys how to time it, but you know, maybe I'll save that for another video. So this is as far as I got, is just more or less where you seen the last time, just the distributor, the spark plug wires, and that's about it. So I'll give you guys a look. My goal here is to I'm going to put the distributor on. I'm going to film that, and or sorry, the alternator. But I ran the plug wires, the plugs. It isn't exactly how I want it. I always hated doing plug wires. They look hideous to me no matter what I do, it seems like. You know, this can come up here. You know what I was actually thinking about, trying to run these three together. I'll get a clip of 3. Something like that. I'm not exactly sure. The other side turned out a little better than this side. I don't know why. That's the new vacuum advance on the distributor. Like I said, it wasn't working, so it was not going to run very well without a vacuum advance. You need to advance the timing when the RPMs go up. It has a mechanical advance. That was working just fine. Just the vacuum advance was not. Other than that, like I said, that's really about it. That's all I've done so far. I just kind of wanted to get that out of the way. I'm really trying to get this truck done. Not done, but I want to get it to a point to where I can put the cab back on. This is taking a little longer than I'm thinking to put the cab back on. So I'm just buttoning her up here, and everything else is pretty much, that's it. I did take the alternator off. I cleaned it up. It's all painted shiny like new, and it's ready to go back together. So we're going to film that, and you'll see me putting that on, and that'll be about it for this engine going back together. Of course, carburetor, but I've yet to clean that up. Obviously, in earlier videos of me taking it apart, I said that I was going to take the intake and all that in, and the carburetor, and well, I never took the carburetor in yet. I still got to clean it up, and I got a rebuild kit for it. Just going to freshen it up. I don't need really any problems with this thing, so it's going to be, running wise, it'll run like new. So I mean, it's got new plugs, new wires, the cap's been replaced, new vacuum advance, everything's been checked out on it, at least if it hasn't been replaced. So it's all squared away. So we'll cut to me putting the alternator on. Okay, here's the alternator. It's all shined up like new, got a new paint job, went through it like I said. So we're going to stick her on here, and hopefully that'll polish up this here motor for a little bit. That way I could set this cab section, the front cab, back on here. Alright, here's the problem I'm having with this. Not a problem, but whoever put this alternator on the last time, I don't know if I said it or not, but there was a nut on the back side of this to tighten it up, because they pulled the threads right out of the alternator. But you know, whatever you got to do to save an alternator, I guess. And you know what? You won't even ever see the nut on the back side. So I'm just going to leave it like that. I could put a time cert in there and redo the threads, but I'm not going to go there. I really just don't think it's worth it. Just for the little bit of hassle it would be, you know. But that's the bolt that the first bolt that you tighten to tension the belt. I'm just kind of going to tighten this belt just best I can just right now. I'm going to put new belts on it. These belts are antique to say the least. So we'll throw some new belts on there, but for, you know, temporary reasons, in case I do want to start it or, you know, run it and set the timing and whatnot, I want the battery to charge, so we'll keep the belt on there for now. But there will be another belt be put on this on the alternator. This belt particularly runs the alternator to water pump, and then it's driven by the crank, obviously. And then I got one more that's just a power steering belt. That's all it's doing. And then off of the power steering belt comes a AC compressor belt, which is non-existent. There wasn't one on it when I bought the truck, so I'm going to have to buy one for there. See if the compressor even makes pressure anymore. It does spin. It's not locked up or anything, so hopefully it just needs a fresh charge in it. But we'll get into that in a later video. Alright, so there it is, all installed. Not that it was very hard to install, but you know. And so the project continues. So I did get the motor all back together, minus the carburetor essentially. That's about all I have to put back on it. Everything went well. I cleaned up some extra parts that I wasn't intending to. I took the alternator off, took it all apart, went through it, cleaned it all up. I got fresh paint on it, and so I mean, I did a little extra, but you know, it's kind of how I figured it was going to end up. As far as well, I'm about as far as I can go with cleaning everything up, and unless I take the motor out and then, you know, take everything off of it and paint it, it's about as good as it's going to look. And that's pretty much my goal with this. I want it to look as good as possible, but I don't want to tear the truck from nut to bolt. Anybody who wants to do a restoration always wants to tear everything from nut to bolt. You know, they want to take the cab off, they want to take, you know, take everything apart, and that's all well and good, you know, because that's what they show on TV. But in reality, that's not practical. There's things that you're going to take apart that there's nothing wrong with. You're just taking it apart to clean up. You know, the differential. I would never take one of these Dana differentials apart. There's not going to be anything wrong with them in there. This truck is, you know, low mileage. It may be old, but, you know, I'm going to check the fluid. There's no actual seals leaks, and that's what I'm going to go about doing. So that's just kind of how I'm going about this project, I guess. I figured I'd explain a little bit more since I never really did. I just kind of started filming, which I decided to film already after I got the truck, which is kind of a disappointment because, you know, it would have been exciting for all you guys to see how bad this thing was. The door literally, you know, the driver's door pretty much literally just fell off when you opened it. That was all the rot that would have been right in here. I kind of had a little video of it at first, but that was about it. I mean, I ran and drove it a little bit, you know, just around the yard. The cab that I have as a donor was in the bed. I unloaded it. I backed it under a tree and unloaded it. That would have been nice to film. But that's pretty much where we're at with it. But like I was saying, I'm not doing a nut and bolt restoration on this. It's unpractical. Your cost is pretty much, you know, tripled, you know, when you're doing something like that as compared to, I'm going through everything. This thing is going to be perfect running driving condition. There's not going to be anything wrong with it. I fixed stuff that's wrong with it. I cleaned everything up as good as I can. Like with the motor, I'm not going to take the motor out, take everything off of it just to paint it. That's a hell of a lot of work to go through just to put some paint on. And it looks just fine the way it is, honestly. I mean, it doesn't look horrendous. I like the way it looks. I'm pretty proud of the way that came out. And that's pretty much my intent for the rest of the project. That's the whole reason I didn't take the cab off of this. I'm not doing a nut and bolt restoration on this. As I was saying, I'm probably reiterating myself, but you know, it's just what I wanted to do. The truck's going to be perfect when I'm done, and it's going to be pretty awesome. So I figured I'd tell you guys what was going on with it really, and where we were headed with the project. I never really explained, I guess, what was going on with it, but hopefully there's some more videos coming up here soon. I am going to try to do some maple syrup tapping, so I'm probably going to film that as well. It's getting into that season again, so we'll do a little bit of that. Probably go away from this for a couple weeks. It may be more than that, but or I'll probably do both. But the maple syrup video won't come till later because it's going to be, you know, 4 to 6 weeks of videoing. So, but that's about it.